So yeah,
dude, your fog machine went off.
I had to make sure.
It looks like your computer just exploded.
I had to make sure.
Do you have it on a timer?
I have a remote control for it with a secret antenna. Oh god, it's getting to be way too much. I had to make sure I was still the king of the fog machine. I got intimidated when I saw you had fog in your latest video.
Disturbing the peace with some peace of mind. Sleeping in jeans, I'ma need a night. OD on the cheap advice. OC on the cheapest flight. Lately I've been on the move trying to get to something. But I told her I've been running just to see the sights.
Well, welcome back to Friends with Benedicts.
Welcome back.
The podcast.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, I know, man. The podcast where we don't actually have breakfast around the world. We don't talk about breakfast food.
You know what I was thinking though is if our podcast really was an international breakfast review podcast, we would have just slam dunked the name.
Yeah, we would have.
I kind of feel guilty for taking the perfect name away from someone who would really do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's fine. We'll be changing our name at least once a year, I would guess.
Oh, I'm sure.
I would also never in my life listen to an international breakfast food review podcast. So.
Oh, dude, I 100% know people that would, though. Well, when we finally start working here, coming up in a couple months,
yeah,
we'll be able to really do that if we want. That can be a segment.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah, because we do have some great breakfast and some terrible breakfast. So maybe we'll actually add a breakfast around the world segment to our podcast.
I mean, hey, while we're at it,
may as well.
I do have just like the world's shortest car update. I swear it's going to be shorter than the last.
Good, because I was going to say I have two important questions for you, and the first one was just going to be if the Deathmobile has killed you yet or not.
No, I haven't driven the Deathmobile. The Deathmobile is truly too dangerous to drive. Okay. And that's coming from a guy that didn't have brakes for a long time. Okay, I'm going to keep this short. I've been going
don't feel bad. At
way
this point,
too hard
it's tradition to start off the podcast with Shaffer's van woes.
Well, it's really funny because it has only seen an update within the last 10 minutes. This is all new.
Oh.
I got a phone call, and I answered it literally 10 minutes ago. And they called and they're like, hey, we found out what's wrong with your car. We fixed it. It's way cheaper than we thought it was going to be.
No way.
And I was like, yes, my luck is turning around. Oh. I hang up the phone and a filling in my tooth falls out.
No. Oh, man.
I was like, what the heck? It's
the
like I
universe
have to be
was just
kept
like, don't get too cocky, dude. We still got our thumb on you.
Yeah, so it was pretty. I was just like, this is just comical at this point. But ultimately, I'm really excited because it's fixed. It's done. It drives.
God. Oh, that's amazing. No more rattling and vibrating and shaking. Sick.
No, it's all good.
Well,
and
what are you gonna do?
It wasn't with what?
What are you gonna do with the Deathmobile?
I think I'm either gonna fix it up and sell it for like $300, or I'm just gonna do the same thing and just say free car.
Oh, okay.
Because
perfect.
I really feel like kind of guilty making anyone pay anything for that. But I also know there are people that buy stuff like that to fix up. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll keep you updated on that next time, but that's as much as I want to talk about my car problems.
Good. Well, yeah, that's probably for the best. You don't want to talk about it too much and have that karma turn back around. So
yeah, or else my head will fall off.
Yeah. Glad things are looking up.
Yeah.
But also, second update question for you. Did you get a fog machine?
No, that was a can of fog. That was
really.
But I've been getting ads. I've been getting ads for this super cool portable fog machine.
Oh, really?
It's so. I was like, man, if anyone could do a review of this thing, it would be Jake. But it's like $1,300.
Oh man. Okay.
But it is so cool. Like it
sick.
fits in a tiny little case, and it can like fog up a whole room.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah. For anyone listening, the The reason I asked is because Shafe just posted his latest YouTube video, which is an absolute banger.
Thanks.
Snowboarding.
Well, the
is
fog
dying.
was inspired by my favorite YouTuber. it was a poor man's fog machine.
Oh, man.
Even though it probably costs not that far off from like an actual fog machine. Those cans are kind of expensive, and the Halloween fog machines are not that expensive.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's impressive. I did not think it was. I did not think that it was a fog machine. Shania called it.
I was
dude.
blasting it. I was blasting it.
Really? Yeah. Shania asked if it was haze in a can. And I said, I don't think so. I think it's a fog machine. It's pretty thick.
Whoa.
So she was right. Dang.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. Thank you for the inspiration. I wouldn't have gone that hard if it wasn't for your videos. I went through half a can on 2 shots.
Oh my gosh. Awesome. Well, you got to get a fog machine because I've been using it so much this week now.
I'm sold. I'm definitely
it.
sold on one. I'm sold on one for sure. Yeah, I bet, because you're working on an anamorphic lens video. So
yeah. So
for those who don't know, anamorphic lens is just layman's term for fog machine lens.
yeah, totally. Over the top movie lens.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I've been having fun with it. It's been really fun.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see.
Yeah. Speaking of movie lenses, we're quickly approaching your favorite movie releasing in theaters. You'll finally get to
Did you
see
see
your
the
favorite
behind the
movie.
scenes? You see
No.
the behind the scenes video they posted on A24?
Yeah, I did. And I actually wanted to, I was figuring we should just play that and react to it because it's only like a minute long. And I think we can do that and not get copyright struck. Maybe.
We'll have to say something transformative about it.
Yeah, well, just as long as we overlay our face, I think it qualifies.
Okay, I think we're good.
Should we do that? You want to pull it up really quick?
Yeah. Do you know how to
I
do this?
Do
we just hit play at the same time?
Yeah, I think in the future we'll figure out a better way, but for now we can just hit play at the same time and then we'll overlay it in the edit. Yeah, on
Very
go.
high tech.
On go after 3.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
I've been thinking about this movie for like 10 years.
There's a part of me that can't believe we're making this film.
It's epic. Jumbo. Every detail has a detail inside
God,
of
I'm
it.
so excited.
If you pumped a 10-year-old full of Zoloft and had him
just
get your
called it
groceries,
that this is gonna be the
that's
best
like
movie
this
ever.
movie.
Dude, when he says it's like
I
a
wanna make film
10-year-old
where it
pump
feels
full
like
of
you
self.
saw it in life, or even through a person.
I feel a great responsibility to deliver something amazing.
God, dude, it gives me chills and I've even seen
Yeah.
it.
Expecting it to be safe.
The amount of like whimsical
It's like a
scenes,
Jewish Lord of the
and it
Rings.
looks so heavy still.
And the
He's
practical
just going to his
effects. I
mom's
mean,
house.
there's obviously a green screen, but
I want to
Yeah.
put you in the experience of being a loser.
I love that too.
Yeah, I know,
wanna
that's
put you
so
in the
good.
experience of being a loser.
Are you on your way?
gosh, dude, it's just perfect. It's so cool.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All I can say is this is the movie I wanted to make. Like when I picture like making a movie someday, this is I mean that's it. That's exactly it.
Man, yeah, I don't know what to say other than it's crazy how well you called that. Like you saw the trailer immediately, and honestly, a lot of those like theatrical, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a stage play,
Right.
in movie form. Like they showed way more of that in this behind the scenes thing, and you called it after the trailer. You're like, I think they're gonna lean into this like theatrical look to get inside his head. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm just excited because to me, what's most appealing is it's just a simple story. It is a simple story of a schizophrenic person trying to go to his mom's house.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing. And they weave this entire crazy, and not only that, like it has all the elements of what makes a magical movie intriguing, but they rationalize it by saying this is a mental illness. He's crazy, like all this stuff is his experience. There's no magic involved.
Yeah.
This is what he's going through. It's just, it's perfect.
Because if, in my opinion, filmmaking is such an incredible tool for empathy. So that's just like a superpower if you can portray someone else's lived experience. I mean, obviously this is a bit more, I don't know. I don't know.
Surrealist.
Yeah, surrealist. Thanks. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, at the very least, to be able to try to get a window into how someone else sees the world and expand your view of like, how someone with severe mental illness might see the world. That's so sick.
Yeah, and to do it in such a fun, artistic, disturbing way.
Yeah.
It's perfect. To me, it's everything I've wanted to see in a movie, and I know it's not out yet, but just the concept. Like I heard when Peanut Butter Falcon was coming out, the guys who wrote and directed Peanut Butter Falcon were at a film. They're actually at the Crested Butte Film Festival for a short film they made, and people asked them. They were like, "What's the next movie you guys are working on?" And they gave the pitch. They were just like, "We're working on a movie about." A kid with Down syndrome that wants to become a boxer, and they got a standing ovation just on the pitch.
Oh wow!
And that movie came out. I mean, it's an incredible. If you haven't seen Peanut Butter Falcon, dude, it's an amazing movie. And I feel the same way about this movie. It's just the pitch to me is a standing ovation, and the fact that it's Ari Aster who's executing it, it's gonna be one of the best movies of the year. I guarantee.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just a window into highly creative minds. I just read right before we started recording that he just finished his next movie script.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
my man's on it.
Damn. I guess that makes sense because Beau is Afraid's probably been done for a while now. But
yeah, it's pretty wild though that you can. I mean, the production obviously had to happen after 2020. So, I mean, even if there's a year of production, he's still writing while he's producing.
That's true. That is a really fast turnaround for the average, the average director.
For us normies.
Yeah. Gosh, that's incredible. Well, yeah, because, I mean, I know you already know this. Tarantino just finished his script for his last movie ever, which I thought was interesting purely for the fact that I would be so nervous about announcing that it's my last movie. Like that feels like that just puts so much more unnecessary pressure on it. That'd be like, that's kind of like announcing your retirement 5 minutes before you play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to compare it.
Like,
I have mixed feelings about that announcement. Probably similar to you, honestly. Like, what are your initial thoughts on that? Other than it's a lot of pressure.
I probably don't have as many thoughts as you because I surprisingly have not seen many Tarantino films.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I really need to, but yeah, for whatever reason, I haven't seen many. So my only thought was being. I feel like that puts so much unnecessary pressure on yourself to just say this is my last movie. But I do think it's interesting that I think him and Scorsese have both made remarks about the movie industry as a whole and basically just shit on Marvel movies as a result of that, because they both are just kind of
supposedly that's what his whole movie's about. The whole new Tarantino movie is about criticizing the current state of Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's called The Movie Critic. Well, tentatively called The Movie Critic. Huh. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
So it'll be pretty fascinating to see what angle he takes, because he could take a highly cynical, like he could bow out by just being like, you guys suck. Or he could bow out by being like, hey, like there's goods and bads and whatever.
Well, did you see The Irishman by Scorsese?
No, I didn't. Okay.
Well, I didn't either. So we're masters at talking about movies we know nothing about. But supposedly, I'm gonna butcher this because this is just vaguely in the back of my head from a while back. So I'm sorry if I don't know all the details to this, but I think he started the movie in either in black and white or in CinemaScope or something like that. And then he ends the movie more like vertically or something like that, because he was also bowing out, saying like the movie industry's over now, it's all content.
Interesting.
Something like that. I want to watch it, but I think it's 4 hours long, so I've been a little tentative to watch it. But
yeah, I've been meaning to as well. Pretty interesting. I think as far as Tarantino making a criticism about Hollywood, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see what he does. One, because of his very outright opinion about Marvel movies and superhero and all that sort of thing. That's one thing. The other thing that I don't see people talking about, that I think, no one knows really exactly what the movie's about, but he has said it's a criticism of the current state of Hollywood. It's kind of rough having that come from a guy who is notoriously real tight with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
wow.
dude! Like Weinstein produced most of his early movies, and when that was, I'm certainly not saying anything about Tarantino or insinuating he was involved in anything, but I do know he was pretty tight with a guy who definitely was involved with a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So it's just, maybe that puts him in the perfect position to commentate on it, and maybe it's just a real slippery slope. He's sort of like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah, that's a good point. He kind of is one of the faces of Hollywood, maybe older Hollywood, but definitely in that in that group. So yeah,
I'm very interested to see what sort of angle and direction he takes, because I think if he's not careful, he can be sort of commenting on himself to an extent, because I don't know, who knows what his involvement was, but either way, it's like all the people who went to Epstein's Island. It's like you don't know what happened, but you still were on Epstein's Island,
Yeah, it just puts a bad taste in your mouth regardless, because it's like, what did you know? You had to know something. You had to know some of this was going on. Yeah.
I think all that really means to me is when I watch Tarantino's next movie, I'm going to be kind of like, all right, bud, what do we got going on here?
Be a little hypercritical of him.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. And then, of course, we have one of our mutual favorite directors ever just announcing a new movie.
Dude, it feels like such a good time for movies right now, which is great because I have, as you know, a season pass to a movie theater. But we're going to be gone all summer anyway, so I'm not even going to be able to see any of them. We're just going to
remember that time we tried to watch a movie while we were abroad?
Yeah, we were in Canada and we went to watch Nope. Turns out we were seeing Nope in French with no subtitles.
Well, when we were going into it, everything was like French dub. And we were like, oh, it'll be in English with French subtitles. Yeah. And then we get in and every single ad playing before the movie is in French. And Jake and I are looking at each other like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think we made it maybe 6 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. Well, we even had the conversation where we're like, should we just stick around for the...
Yeah, because
we did.
We even bought popcorn and drinks. So we're just sitting there eating our popcorn. And it just starts and we hear French and we're just like, uh-oh.
We're just like, nope.
Yeah. Should we stay? No. Which I finally watched that movie, and it would have been honestly a pretty similar experience watching it in French as it would have in English.
Yeah, I haven't been super intrigued by it since then, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got.
But yeah.
Again, dude, my whole thing is just critiquing movies I've never seen.
Yeah. Critiquing movies you haven't seen, and you've self-proclaimed you don't even like movies. So here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
on our movie podcast
this summer
about breakfast and YouTube.
Yeah. It's turning around though, dude. We got a Tarantino movie, we got Ari Aster movie, and Wes Anderson movie, which I was trying to find the budget for that new Wes Anderson movie, but all of his movies are just absolute star cast lineup. But this one,
I know,
especially is ridiculous.
Dude, Tom Hanks, Steve Carell,
Scarlett Johansson, Bryan Cranston,
guy in Breaking Bad,
Edward Norton,
Edward Norton, dude, I know.
It's Margot Robbie.
It's ridiculous.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
Everyone
it's
is in
absolutely
that movie.
ridiculous. One of the chicks from Stranger Things is in it. I did watch an interview that came out about a couple months ago where Bryan Cranston was just talking about working on it, and he said it's different than any movie he's ever worked on because on one hand it's just completely strict, like Wes has a perfect vision of how it's supposed to look before anything happens. I guess he makes an animatic of the entire movie and voices the whole thing over by himself and then emails it to everyone to watch and study. So they're able to watch the whole movie before they even act in it, which is amazing.
That's crazy.
But then he also said that it's like an actor summer camp because they all go together and then every night they have a big banquet and there's a guy like playing the piccolo and they like sing songs together and it's like everything you'd hope out of a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, because I was gonna ask, like, do you think a lot of these actors, I don't know how it works, but do you think they charge a lower rate just because it's a Wes Anderson movie and they know that they're going to work with all these stars and be in such a unique experience? Like, it seems like they would have to charge a lower rate for it to be affordable for him to have that many stars.
I don't know. It's hard to say because I also think he just kind of can do whatever he wants at this point. Because I mean, everything he makes is a cult classic.
Yeah, he will.
Every single movie he comes out with is a slam dunks. And when they were asking Bryan Cranston, because it's his first Wes Anderson movie, they were like, they're like, what was it like when you got contacted? He was like, well, he's like, in the industry, when you get an email from Wes Anderson, he's like, you don't ask what character you play, you don't ask what the script is, you just say, what do you need me to do and when? And he was just like, he's like, there are very few people I would do that for, but he's like, for Wes Anderson, there was no questions. It was just like, yes, I'll be in the movie. What am I doing?
Man, yeah.
So I think he's just kind of reached kind of Tarantino status. I feel like there would be a very short list of people who would say no to Tarantino. And I think Wes is the same way.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Well, and the great tragedy of it so far is that Bill Murray's not in it because he was gonna be, but he got COVID just before they were filming. Yeah,
no way.
So he had to like not be on set or something. So yeah, so that sucks.
That is a bummer. I heard there were some some more accusations of people floating around, and Bill Murray was in the mix. So I don't know. You know, yeah. It's hard because Bill Murray is more than just Bill Murray to me. He's like he's more of like a mindset than anything.
I know. I can't.
So it's hard to read for sure, and I don't know the validity of anything. I don't know if
bear to hear that. Yeah.
I know. So, but that was a while ago, so who knows what's up? But
well, because the stories of Bill Murray are just so good.
Yes. I know.
He'll grab some random person's French fries in a restaurant and eat them and look at them and just say, "No one will ever believe you," and then walk away.
Yeah,
like stuff like
I know.
That.
He's a legend. He's a legend. I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know, man. It's hard because part of me is like, oh, I don't really want to think about that. But then it's like, well, are you just gonna like draw a line where it's like, if it's this person, it's okay?
Yeah,
because that's not a good line to draw.
At
but
this point
I also
in time,
don't know. Like, I feel like I don't know. It's hard to know these days. So
yeah. It is hard to know. Yeah. We won't bother diving into that topic because that's a whole can of worms.
Yeah, I'm probably not the most equipped people
I don't
to have
think
a really
either
useful
of us are,
take on it.
Exactly. That's why I was like, we can move on because neither of us are educated enough on that to provide any value.
I did want to parallel Shaffer's pick of the week with the announcement of the new Wes Anderson movie because there's a video a kid made. He was like a PA on Life Aquatic, and he was just in charge of like getting behind the scenes footage and like grabbing people snacks and beverages or whatever. But he made a video about what it's like to be a PA on a Wes Anderson movie. So I think if you just look up like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's something just like PA on a Wes Anderson movie or something. There's this whole breakdown of what it's like, and it just makes it look like the most fun thing. Dude,
really?
I'll just put it out in the universe right now. If there's any way anyone in the world has any way to connect me to being the bagel guy on a Wes Anderson movie, hook me up. I want to do it so bad.
And I'll be the coffee guy for the bagel guy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'll have
like
his
a bagel
coffee.
in each hand. Yeah, I'll have a bagel in each hand, and you'll have 2 cups of coffee, and I'll be like double dunking and feeding people.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god!
Like, is this really a 2-man job? I'll be like, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Like you hear that he has it fully planned out, and it's very strict, and that sounds intense. But I'll bet that's really nice. Like,
yeah.
I would
No
imagine way more often it's the other way around, where it's not planned out enough, and so that's when problems and chaos arrive. It also allows for some, some amazing like collaborative creativity, I guess, like when actors have a bit more freedom, or when the DP or cinematographer has a little more freedom. I think that's cool. But I would imagine that removes a lot of stress when you just are on set and you know exactly what it needs to look like, exactly what needs to happen.
I would even go so far as to wonder if, if you were to make a critique of the Wes Anderson style, if maybe it takes away from some of the potential performances that the actors are able to give, because every Wes Anderson character, as much as I hate to say this, they're pretty similar. Like, the dialogue is like has the same rhythm. Like, their facial expressions are all very deadpan. The delivery is just like formulaic. And I am definitely not saying that's a bad thing, because it's what makes a Wes Anderson a Wes Anderson. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, will you see Bryan Cranston come through, or will it just be Wes Anderson Bryan Cranston? Like, basically like a Meat Canyon portrayal of someone, where it's like, yeah, it's them, but it's like it's very much. You
still hear Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Wow, I'm glad you said that and not me, because I had the same thought, and it's such a strange thought, because I saw the trailer and was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I love Wes Anderson movies, but also was like, yep, it's definitely another Wes Anderson movie. I kind of know what to expect.
Yeah,
but not in a bad way know what to expect. It's just like his unique style is so established as his style, that you kind of know what you're gonna get, like you said.
Well, maybe if you were to argue for the opposite side, you could say musical artists that you like. Sometimes they'll do an album that sounds exactly like their last album, and there's a million people out there that want that and love that. But when you find out, especially like if your favorite artist hasn't made an album in a couple of years, and then they come out and they're doing something totally different, it's really like thrilling, And I think when you hear, oh, there's a new Wes Anderson movie, when you're about to click the trailer, there's a part of you that knows it's going to be just another, not that it's a bad thing, but just another Wes Anderson movie. And then there's also a part of you that's kind of like, what if things were completely different this time around? Like, what if he really shook stuff up? And I would be pretty stoked for that. Man. But I'm also not bummed out that he's doing his own thing.
Dude, what a great analogy. That's a brilliant analogy, because it goes both ways. You could also just hope that a band releases exactly what you want to hear for the next album. And this has happened where a band that I love releases that next album and it sounds nothing like they used to. And initially I'm like, oh man, this album sucks. And then you listen to it 3 or 4 times and you like it even better than their old stuff. And you're like, this is amazing. So
yeah. And it kind of opens up a whole new level of appreciation for the artist too, where it's like, man, they knew what I was going to like before I even liked it, after I heard it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of makes them seem a little bit like, I don't know, like almost like they have some sort of magical powers to like, or they're taste makers, you know what I mean? And I think Wes Anderson has made his taste, and it's just like, I don't really know how much further he's going to push the innovation as opposed to just completely refining the style. Because one thing I thought when I saw the trailer was, I was like, this looks like the movie Wes Anderson has been trying to make for as long as he's been Wes Anderson. Yeah. It's like every cliche that is Wes Anderson just dialed up to 1,000,000.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, dude, even the color grade looks like...
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the color grade, personally.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It looks like what so many people were doing with their YouTube videos for a while, where the sky is like turquoise, literal turquoise. So it looks like
does
that
look like
color
a YouTube
grade,
video.
but with the skin tones preserved well. Other than that, it looks like the 2016, 2017 YouTube video trend.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of contrast in images. I just think I just like the way it looks. And I mean, yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer, you will be shocked by how low contrast the grade is. Even if you're not into video or anything, you can just tell. You're like, I think it's meant to look vintage, but to me, it just kind of looks bad.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when the whole movie comes out and you see it in a theater and you're immersed in the world, it'll feel different. But when it's just on YouTube next to every other high contrasting video, you're like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
This looks unfinished.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's fair.
So, I don't know. A lot to look forward to. I'm excited. I'm up for whatever Wes Anderson has to offer, but there's some things where I'm like, well, you know, maybe this is getting a little too cliche.
Well, maybe we can see some movies in Italian this summer.
Yeah, that would be good. Actually, seeing a Wes Anderson movie dubbed over in French would be kind of awesome.
That would be awesome. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, enough with the movie news.
Yeah.
Should we move on to YouTube news?
Absolutely, we should. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah. You're a Yes Theory fan, aren't you?
I think I might be somewhat of an ex-Yes Theory fan.
Oh, yeah. Well, did you see their recent, I don't even want to call it drama, but their recent...
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, so I would call myself a casual Yes Theory watcher. Like I've never...
That's probably a way better way to say it.
Yeah.
I revoke my ex-Yes Theory fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've certainly not watched all their videos or even gone through a period where I watched all their videos, but kind of watch on and off whenever something intrigues me and keep an idea what they're doing. And I think they're sick. I think what they've done is incredible. But the recent drama, again, it's not even really drama, but they posted a video and I forget the title. It was a very clickbaity title and it was just Thomas's face. And it was like, I wish I could remember the title, but I can't. And they've since changed it.
See if I can find it.
Yeah,
okay.
They've since changed it because that's part of the drama. Is it sounded very important, and it was just an ad for a course that they're releasing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's essentially the drama. Is, you know, Yes Theory has done such a good job portraying emotional messages and being really like genuine and impactful. And so then this video came out and it seemed like it was going to be an honest talk. And then it was just like a bait and switch ad for a course.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I wanted to contrast it with PewDiePie's latest move.
Yeah.
PewDiePie's infinite money glitch. Did you hear about that?
I did. Oh my God, dude. I was just like, of course. Not of course he would do it. I am so surprised he is the first person to do this.
I know.
I guarantee as we speak right now, there are 50 more big channels who have just started doing the same thing.
And if you're not familiar with what he did, PewDiePie is now live streaming all of his old videos on a continuous loop on Twitch. And people are calling it the infinite money glitch because it's all of this work he's already put in and he's just looping them live streaming, which for anyone that watches is going to bring him in ad revenue and potentially subscription revenue if people subscribe to him.
And just donations in general.
And it's just work he's already done. And yeah, like you said, how has no one else thought of that? And PewDiePie kind of seems like one of the last people that would do that. But
dude, I think for everyone, because I've seen two sides of this. I've seen people say, you know, like this is kind of like I don't know, like maybe not the most tasteful thing to do. And then I've seen other people just be like, yeah, I don't know, it's just mad science. Mm-hmm. I would say to the people who are critiquing it, I would just say, think about music licensing. When you do like, it's like when people use a Christmas song, it's like the author or the rights holder gets paid for the use.
Yeah.
And, like people stream music, they get paid per stream.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of deal. It's just like he has this backlog of basically like the level of Christmas classic hits that he's created over his lifetime that he's just finally, I mean, not that he hasn't gotten his freaking paycheck from all of it already, but I mean, he's getting the royalties from the work he's created.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a great example because people that make those Yule log videos, like those channels make a ton of money because a bunch of people just throw on a 12-hour loop of a Yule log around Christmas time and the channel gets money from it. But yeah, it's so interesting because I don't feel gross about that PewDiePie move at all, and it
just made me laugh.
Yeah.
It literally was just like, okay,
yeah.
Of course, Felix would figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, totally. Which is it's so funny. It seems like it doesn't. I don't know. It's just harmless, basically. It feels to me.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so strange where Yes Theory probably put a ton of time and thought into making this course, and it definitely took a lot of effort, and yet it feels bad to receive that as a viewer and be like, wait, you got me to click because this seemed like this was going to be a really heartfelt conversation, and now you're trying to sell me a $400 course instead.
Especially because when I said I'm an ex-Yes Theory fan, even though I've addended that to being a casual viewer, it's because on their second channel, Thomas uploaded a couple videos that were him just talking. Like he has one about creativity that's just so unbelievably good. And I think I'm more of a Thomas fan than I am a Yes Theory fan because I like to hear his perspective on things. And yeah, I feel like if I had been subject to seeing that title and thumbnail, I definitely would have clicked on it, and I definitely would have felt gypped because his creativity video is my favorite one he's ever done.
Oh wow!
And it wasn't it wasn't train hopping. It wasn't taking a stranger to Afghanistan. it was, it's like it's just the honest man. I don't know. I really look forward to people being real, and I really stray away from, I don't know, just clickbaity BS and also courses, dude. Yeah. What do you think about YouTube courses? Because
what is my thought on YouTube courses? I'm trying to make it succinct. It feels like YouTube courses are trying to answer a problem that YouTube already solved for free.
Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
We used to have paid courses and paid education, and then YouTube came along and was like, "Oh, sick. Now we're just all sharing information with each other and this is amazing." It's this open source idea of the internet. And so you and I both have built our entire careers off of stuff we've learned on YouTube. And so then, it feels weird to then be like, oh, but wait, you can pay for this secret backdoor of YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't think ever delivers.
I just kind of think it has a little, and I can't speak for everything that's ever been made, but I think it has a little bit of preying on hope kind of energy to me, where it's just like, you want so badly to have these skills and this knowledge. Whoa. And instead of doing what is completely available to you, which is just going through the motions, figuring it out the hard way, running into problems, solving them over and over and over for years, instead you think there's this thing where if you just pay $75, you bypass all of these lessons that you have to learn the hard way. And I really don't think 99% of the time, I don't think it's true.
I just watched a video recently about Skillshare and how I think the average rating for a Skillshare course is like 2 stars or something like that, because it very, very rarely, the model with Skillshare is you take a YouTuber like Ali Abdaal and then you enter his Skillshare course, which is only on Skillshare. And I think it's exactly what you said. People have that, ooh, I want to be like Ollie, so of course I want this secret info. But Ollie already shares so much incredibly valuable stuff on his YouTube channel. It's not like he's
and you have to. It also makes you have to make the logical jump that he is here making all these videos holding back the real secret.
Yeah, exactly.
Which kind of makes him not look great, because then it's like, so can I trust you, or you know, I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The one, I'm pretty sure the only course. No, that's not true. I've bought 2 courses. I bought Matt D'Avella's course.
Learn how to be jacked.
Learn how to have huge
Learn how to
biceps
be jacked and make pour over
and
coffee and get rid of all your stuff. Learn how to subtly make dick jokes.
Yeah.
And then talk about how it's not as easy as it looks.
I bought Matt D'Avella's course.
It shows, dude.
I have not watched a single module. Which, man.
Dang, I should have saved that. I should have said it shows after you said that.
Oh, yeah, that would have been... You want to run that back? I bought Matt D'Avella's course, and I have not watched a single module.
It shows.
Oops.
Where's your 12 pack then?
Dude, my brain just broke.
Oh, I asked where your 12 pack went.
I got huge biceps from that course.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Got it. All right, okay.
But I guess that just goes to show exactly what you're saying about the hope thing, because the course I bought was basically like essentially how to be a YouTuber. It was just his, like, you know, because he doesn't really share the ins and outs of his YouTube process, his filmmaking process, which, you know, to me was intriguing. I would say that he's kind of one of the few that doesn't really talk at all about his camera gear or his YouTube process. Yeah. So I was like, oh, cool. This will be a backdoor to kind of get some bonus info. But yeah, maybe I just bought it because I was hopeful and then never actually took the time to watch, because I already have more than enough info about how to be a YouTuber. It's the doing it that's the hard part. It's not knowing what you need to do. It's just actually doing it.
Oh my gosh. I wish there was like some sort of way that we could put that on a billboard over our whole thesis statement of our lives. It's like, it's not hard to hear how to do it. It's hard to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
Dude, your fog machine went off.
Yeah, I had to make sure.
It looks like your computer just exploded.
I had to make sure.
Do you have it on a timer?
I have a remote control for it with a secret antenna. Oh god, it's getting to be way too much.
What the heck?
I had to make sure I was still the
Jake is having technical difficulties.
Oh no, that's way too much. I had to make sure I was still the king of the fog machine. I got intimidated when I saw you had fog in your latest video. So I wanted to make sure I was still the master of it. Oh god, it looks like my house is on fire now.
I'm not even gonna get close.
No, dude, it's not even a contest.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, you think you're in a sauna. Anyway, Matt D'Avella, what's the other course you got?
Oh, yeah, and then the other one was Casey Neistat's course, which...
Oh my god.
I know. You hate Casey Neistat.
Dude, you know what? I was talking about Casey Neistat with someone the other day, and I feel like I had the best take about Casey Neistat ever.
Hit me with it.
He's the most homeschooled person to ever not be homeschooled.
Oh, no. Wow. I love Casey Neistat, and that's...
I always spray paint my Ray-Bans, and then I scrape it off, and then I get on my boosted board and cut traffic.
Shoot.
All right, dude.
I hate how correct you are about that. Anyway, I bought his course
Right.
because it pitched the collaborative environment of it. Like you basically get put into groups and there's a
368.
there's a collaborative environment to it.
Just like 368.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, oh, cool. You're being a little group. Everyone makes sure that you're doing your work and posting and all that.
Whatever happened to no visitors ever?
That's his office, dude. That's not 368.
Anyway, wait. What else did you learn from Casey Neistat?
It doesn't matter. I don't care anymore.
I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'll be good.
I learned how to be kooky and paint my glasses and ride a booster board.
Did you learn how to everything you say write on a piece of construction paper and then tape it to something in your office? This is YouTube. YouTube.
Hey, man.
This is your life.
This is coming from the guy.
If your life becomes part of YouTube, you'll be a YouTuber. But part of that is collaboration.
This is coming from the guy
This
who
is
made
collaboration.
a diagram of his soul with screws and strings.
I got it from Casey Neistat's course.
I know. It shows.
Oh my god. Oh. Sorry, Casey Neistat.
Well, the moral of the story is I bought it in hopes of having collaboration and accountability, and I only watched 2 of the modules, and then I never made anything and
Rats.
just let my group down.
That sucks. Wait, so it was like you were like in like a class kind of thing? Like it was like group project?
Yeah, you got...
And he was the professor?
Yep, exactly. But
Mr. Neistat, I have a question about the test. How fast do we have to ride our booster boards around New York City?
this is the worst.
How often should I include my mailman in my videos?
But
You get an
basically,
A+, Jake Frew.
you get a what?
I said, you got an A+, Jake Frew.
No, I didn't, because I didn't even do any of the assignments. I just
Dang.
failed. But
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I also was taking the course while we were gone in the summer. We didn't have videos to do, but I was gone and I was distracted. And
So you're spending the entire time with me and it never came up.
yeah, because I knew I was going to get just roasted or I was going to have to hear Casey Neistat roasts for the next week straight. I couldn't bear to do that. I knew that this was coming.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't help it, dude.
No, it's okay. It's so funny. But yeah, the moral of the story is both of the courses that I paid for from 2 of my favorites of all time yielded absolutely nothing for me because I felt like I already had got what I needed from YouTube for free.
I also think there's probably a qualifier that deserves to be thrown out, which is I don't blame any of these people for making courses, especially because it's hard enough. Like I think there's this grand assumption that if you just make videos that get a lot of views, then you'll just make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. There has to be a bunch of different revenue streams and supporting yourself off of it. Granted, when you do get to a level like a Casey Neistat, it does really start to pan out where you don't need to do much more than just make the videos. But for most people, you have to be real creative with the revenue streams.
Yeah.
So I don't fault any of these people for doing it. I just think it's complete bullshit and they're liars.
Yeah. No, I wanted to add the same qualifier because especially Yes Theory when, well, I mean, a lot of these channels have big teams behind it, but Yes Theory, it's like 3 main guys and a team behind it. Like,
yeah.
I'm with you. I don't fault them at all. It totally makes sense to me that you need to find revenue streams. But it's just such a tough balance. And that's why I thought the PewDiePie thing was such an interesting comparison, because they're both obviously just money grabs in one form or another, or money grabs makes it still sound gross. It's just another way to make money. It's a business. You're doing a business and you need to make money to run your business. That's what both of them are doing. And maybe Yes Theory's approach wasn't great, but I think the way that they've handled it has been amazing, because they followed it up with a video essentially just apologizing and trying to clarify the intent. They added a scholarship program because obviously $400 is not the same amount of money all across the world. And it's very expensive for a course even in the States. So
yeah, I would have to see what the course is on and about and everything to really stand behind this statement. But my immediate response to that is why this looks bad on Yes Theory as opposed to the other millions of channels that have courses is Yes Theory's whole thing is about how your life is in your hands and you have the ability to change it, and to say it's your life. You can say yes to what you need to say yes to. You have the power to change everything in your life if you buy a $400 course. It just like that feels like completely outside of the narrative thread that they've woven around their mission statement. It just feels completely like antithetical to the point. Yeah. So I would have to look more into it to stand behind that definitively, but it kind of makes sense to me why Yes Theory making a $400 course doesn't really look great.
Yeah, and they definitely addressed that. Like the whole thing with the video was they were saying the difference between a chef and a cook. A cook follows recipes and makes the dish that they're supposed to make, whereas a chef understands ingredients and flavors and learns how to make great meals. And they were basically saying,
but the implication there is that in order to be a chef you need to take their stupid course.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And that's exactly what some of the highest liked comments said. It was, you don't become a chef by taking a class, you become a cook by taking a class. You become a chef by putting in years and years and years of trial and error and tasting foods and making foods. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting because
it is interesting. Well, I feel like of all of the YouTuber revenue streams, that's consistently the most controversial. I would wager. I feel like it's between that and OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah, because especially now, it just seems like everyone is making a course as a revenue stream, and it's almost like we're just waiting for the next good idea to make revenue. And maybe it's just adding all of your old videos onto a Twitch live stream. Maybe that's the answer.
Feels a little less gross, just a little tiny bit less gross, especially because I also am so jaded at this point by the cliche of like, you always got to figure out a way to add value to your customers or your viewers. Like, what's my value Venn diagram here? How am I like blah, blah, blah. And it's just, God, it's so old at this point because you can just throw adding value on top of any bullshit you want. And then it's immediately justified because it's like, oh yeah, this is a value add.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't really mean anything unless it actually adds value. And it's real up in the air as to whether a course does that or not.
Yeah.
So,
well, and especially because I think we just misinterpret what value is, or we put way too much importance on a certain type of value.
Amen, brother. That's so true.
Yeah. And like, so lately, you know, for me, what's most valuable on YouTube is just something that makes me feel, you know, like it's not just information and practical value and tips and tricks and hacks. It's like humanity.
Yeah.
It's real human art and creativity and emotion and feeling when everything else is becoming robotic.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I think you're definitely onto something in saying that. And I think as things get more and more and more and more robotic, just this endless pursuit of hustling and making money and, getting yours is just going to get older and older and older. Cause it's like, dude, what happened to just like being a guy? What happened to just being a person?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Because it seems like that's illegal. It's like if you're not somehow an influencer or you're not somehow making passive income, then you're a loser.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
Man. And I mean, that's a topic for another day, but the more and more that AI automates the simple jobs, we're going to have to make some cultural shifts.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming more and more difficult to just be a normal person with a normal job and get by. Like, it's insane. But
yep. That's why I've said it before on the podcast, and I'll say it again. The outdoor industry, dude, it's in its prime right now, or it's on the edge of its prime because
absolutely
there's no substituting it.
Yeah.
And I've already talked about that, but I believe it.
That's true. That is true. Oh, you already gave us Shaffer's pick of the week, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did. It was the old Wes Anderson thing.
Oh, yeah, the PA's video.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to track that down.
Oh, yeah? You going to put in the show notes?
Absolutely. Definitely not. Because I got faith in our viewers, Everyone else is like, oh, yeah, our stupid viewers got to go to the link in the description. I got faith in the people listening to this. People listening to this are smart enough to just Google Wes Anderson PA behind the scenes video, and they'll find it.
That's true. They are some smart cookies. We got to make it more and more complicated. Where at first it's like, oh yeah, it's this video that's about this, and then be like, my pick of the week has an S in the title. The thumbnail is purple.
It's just a scavenger hunt to try to figure out what Shaffer's pick of the week is.
Yeah.
Good idea. Well, speaking of the people.
Yeah, the people.
There was one comment that I kind of wanted to give a quick read.
You're going to address them?
Well, no, I mostly wanted to start a new segment of the podcast called Avatar News Updates.
Oh, no.
Because this comment made me so happy. Because I'll make this quick.
Why do we always have to talk about Avatar? All right, I'm ready. Hit me.
Hit me with the Avatar news. Because I got to go to a haircut soon. But you notoriously don't like magic.
Right.
And especially magic in Avatar. And this person replied to the Avatar short and said, they're waiting to explain why she has powers, but they basically alluded to her being Avatar Jesus with immaculate conception, meaning she has no mother or father, so it's very likely she is the actual incarnation of Ewa, not human and not even Na'vi, just this special being sent to heal the division. So yes, she has Jedi powers.
This feels like a trap.
It's almost like this character that's not fully human and not fully God either, but is sent to perform miracles and help unite the people.
The reason this is so funny, and I've alluded to this before, but man, it's probably, it's going to come out eventually. For whatever stupid reason, like, I guess I'm a Christian. I get it, okay? It's a 2,000-year-old dead Jew who died on a cross, came back to life to save me from my sins. And I get that it is the most magical thing there could ever be. I'm not even making fun of it right now. I'm being totally honest, which is why. And trust me, people. Let me just get this out there. I don't know why either. It just, I don't know, it just clicks in my brain, and it's always been what, I don't need to justify myself to you people.
No, you don't. Sometimes
what's so funny about this is I hear this about Avatar and I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, of course. And then I hear it like I hear it in this whole thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's worth living a life for.
I'm down for believing in that magic.
I'm down for believing that. Because with that one, I get to go to heaven.
Oh man. No,
Avatar is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, dude, such a beautiful story.
It points back to the Most High.
Man, yeah. Listen, I only read that comment because I knew it would strike that chord in you. And I also want to say, like, I love that you're able to both joke and be serious about it. Like, that's rad. So
yeah, I mean, man, I don't know. I feel like at some point it'd be fun to talk about that specifically because it's a pretty
yeah.
I don't know. It's a pretty huge bummer of a thing to identify with these days. I feel bad even saying it out loud because it comes with so much assumptions about who I think are acceptable and not.
Yeah.
And that's just a huge bummer because that's not the version of it that I subscribe to. So I don't know. At some point I feel like that'll be interesting to talk about because we have very differing views and backgrounds on that whole thing. And yet we're like best buds.
Yeah, totally.
Which for a big sect of it isn't even possible.
I know.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, dude. You and I are reuniting the world one step at a time.
Yeah, we are. That's exactly what we're doing here.
No, you're right. Like, I mean, geez, we could talk for hours on that because it would be a I don't even know what to call it. Strange diversion from what we normally talk about, but it certainly is. Certainly.
Yeah. If people would be here, I'll put it this way: if people would be interested in us going down a road like that, I'm super curious to know if that would be intriguing or not. But then also, if it's just like, dude, I just come to hear you talk about Casey Neistat, that's totally fine too.
That's honestly kind of how I feel. Is like I have so many thoughts and could talk for so long about that, but there's also a big part of me that just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Doesn't
that's
want
a
to
video
dive into
that's
it.
a video that I will make someday. Is like, I think it would basically be something like being Christian in 2023 or whenever I make it. It'll probably be years from now because I'm not one of those people that is like, Christians are persecuted in our modern day society. I'm not one of those people at all. And I'm also not one of the people that stand by and see all of the ludicrous things they say about different people groups and go like, yeah, exactly. God hates those people.
Yeah, right.
So I'm in this weird in-between land where I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy that I can subscribe to something that the whole thesis statement of the thing is love, and the whole people group is identified by the most hateful people in America.
Yeah, which is why you and I are able to be such good friends, is because hopefully both of us aren't just completely unwilling to question anything, you know.
Exactly.
That's where it becomes impossible and it becomes a divide, is if you are so 1000% certain that you're correct, you're in the right camp, you have the right beliefs, then there's no point in even talking. But if you have someone who is always willing to question and be lighthearted about it and be willing to question things, then man, that's all it takes. Like, you can believe whatever you want as long as you're like just willing to question things and willing to have conversations about it.
Man, that is so true, and it's kind of rare. And actually, I think when we define the podcast, even though it kind of is about breakfast food and it's kind of about movies, and I think it does kind of mostly boil down to like art. I think this is kind of an art podcast at some level, or maybe like a digital modern art podcast or something.
Yeah.
But I think it goes in parallel with that. It's like,
absolutely.
unless you're willing to talk about a Wes Anderson movie and have a discussion, or talk about Casey Neistat and see that maybe there's cons and pros to the old boy, then like, I don't know. I'm here to talk about it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Totally. And
thankful
dude,
for everyone that's here for the conveation and appreciates the fact that I'm probably wrong a lot of the time and Jake's probably wrong a lot more than me.
Yep. But I'm still the king of fog.
It's like the part in Megamind where he's like, you were right. I was less right.
I haven't seen Megamind.
Oh, you'd like it. It's a good movie.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to get a haircut. But yeah, the last thought I had was just that, also spirituality and questioning existence and gods or no gods, that's always been intertangled with art. Like questioning existence and purpose and what is going on here is just at the core of so much art, if not all art. So I think
the important thing is a lot of people will land in camps that sort of are more like an answer to them. Right. And you just don't want to make war with the other camps.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say that too, is I know that when Shaffer says he's a Christian, immediately so many people think they know exactly what that means. And I'm here to say you don't know what that means for Shaffer.
I'm a special snowflake. I'm not like other guys.
All I'm saying is it's not fair to just, and we all do it, but it's not fair to just immediately assume that you know what that means for someone.
Oh yeah, I think that goes. I think that goes. If someone was to define themselves as agnostic or atheist, I think it does the exact same thing. It's like I am guilty at times of jumping to like, oh, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or it's just it's a complicated world we live in, and I think anyone that says they have the answer kind of worth is kind of worth maybe being skeptical of, and that's coming from a guy. I don't even need to say it.
Oh man. Well, I just want to note that means we are one step closer to Shaffer not hating Avatar. If we hit 1,000 subscribers, he's gonna watch Avatar, and
true.
And I think that's all I got.
Yeah, and we've made some heavy strides towards that goal, unfortunately, in the last week.
Yeah. I very conveniently mentioned our podcast in a video that happened to do better than any of my other videos. So, hey, if you're new here, welcome. And welcome. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, no kidding. I was excited to see that video did good. I got a big surprise, mostly for you next week.
Oh boy!
Granted, next week since my van's done, we might be able to record one in person. But that said, I do have a big surprise coming for you.
Oh man, I can't wait.
It's gonna be pretty fun.
All right, is it on the pod?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it has to be remote.
Pod? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging around for Friends with Benedicts. And we love you. Amen.
Love you. Amen.